Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos. All right, Recon Athlete, episode number 68. I hope you guys are awake after that Corona siren. And Zach Lucetto is hitting me up. Hold on here. What up, Zach?
What's up?
Chilling, bro. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready.
You ready? Did you hear the Corona siren?
I'm more than ready. No.
Why not? You weren't on the watch party?
Yeah, for like half a second.
Oh. Do you want to hear the Corona siren?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Oh, sorry. That's just a little taste, Zach. What do you think?
That was good. Did you put that together?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It's about 2 minutes long. When we go back, you can go back in the watch party and watch it again. So everybody can check it out. Yeah, man, I did a little bit of work this week. I put a little production time in. What do you think?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you try Tory Lanez?
Yeah, it's Tory Lanez. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our new drop. So episode 68, Recon Athletes. Chris Sanchez, Zach Lucetto, Paul Rodriguez on the line as well. Paul, what's up?
Man, if y'all weren't awake by now, you should have been because, baby, it's quarantine.
Yeah, it's quarantine time, baby. Quarantine. Yeah, I mean, we're doing well. We're doing a good job. Go ahead, Zach.
You should put Snupe saying it.
Yeah, I'll try to get him. I mean, I'll try to get Snoop to. You know what? I did.
It's
Shout
on.
out.
You can find it on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
You can find it from last night's thing,
Last
from last
night's
night's
show, yeah,
interview.
from
It's on
FLXATX. FLXATX. Shout out to Snoop Daniel. Did his first Friday Night Flex show last night, 7 to 9 on the Horn. You can check that out. Paul Rodriguez was on there between 8:25 and 8:30. Talking a little bit of scouting. So we'll do a little bit of shout outs to some of the offers that were made this week here on Recon Athlete episode 68. Also going to talk Man-bun or Mullet. Houston Texans. What's going on over there? Enchiladas, because I put a post out there this week that got a lot of traction about enchiladas here in the ATX, and other duties as assigned. We saw this morning XFL suspends operations, and we're going to talk a little bit Drew Brees this morning as well. But first off, I want to get the expert on the long hair don't care, Zach Lucetto. Zach, I put out there, man-bun or mullet, because I can't, obviously you can't get a haircut right now. So I'm already like planning for the future and, whether or not, I should just do the mullet or should I do the man bun? I mean, you're the hair expert, Zach. I mean, which way should I go?
I think you should just do man bun.
Man bun?
Because mullet, you would still have to continue to cut the side.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you're right. But can I do, is it possible to do the mullet? Because I've had this suggestion, because a lot of people were saying, is it possible to do the mullet into a man bun, or do I need the sides as well to get the man bun right?
I think you need the side. You could do that thing where it's like only long on top, like that hipster thing.
Okay.
But definitely.
So, and I got to shout out Wes Washington. He is completely against either one. He actually sent me a face mail on House Party last night about 2 a.m. saying Sanchez, don't get either. So he is not a fan. But shout out to Wes. He is a fan of Recon Athlete. But he is.
But Chris, you are 53. It's going to take forever for your hair to grow with either.
Bro, no, for real though. My hair grows really, really fast. I mean, it's going to take a while. It would take a while. How long would it take me to get my hair as long as yours? I would say at least 2 years, right?
Yeah, like it's like 2 years worth, but I think you could be bunnable in like 8 months.
8 months? Okay. I mean, I think I could do that. I mean, especially, I mean, I know my mom won't like it. Shout out, Mama. Happy Easter. I know she won't like it, but I mean, I've got this feeling that I'm going to be working from home for a few months. So I think I think it'd be all right. I think I'll be okay. And I just turned, I'm not 53, but I did just turn 40, but my hair does grow fast. Shout out to my genetics. So, we'll see. Paul, where do you lean on the man bun or mullet conversation?
Man, I'm with Wes. I don't want to get neither one. That's gonna look so awkward. Think about this. Think about how salt and pepperish that man bun or mullet would be.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be super 50-50 mix.
You can't ask Paul his opinion on you changing something about your appearance. Paul wears the same shirt and shorts every time we do the show.
That's right. So whenever I go out in public, people recognize me, but they don't recognize me.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot of votes on my Facebook post. It was actually more mullet than man bun. Surprisingly, I think maybe people just want to make fun of me. Exactly.
I think it's just your generation is closer to mullets than man buns. That's what I think.
Huh.
Think about the 80s and how the mullet was really prominent in the mid 80s compared to the man bun. I think really man bun is probably scarce back then compared to the 2000s, where I think the man bun kind of became prominent. You were already late in your 20s by the 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, and should I keep the beard as well? Yeah, I should keep the beard.
Yeah.
Keep the beard with the man bun. I don't know. Zach, I mean, do you think this is possible for me to grow my hair out?
I don't think it's going to take a long time for you to get it as long as you're thinking in your head.
Yeah.
But I think you could have some sort of mullet or some sort of bun in 8 months.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at December. Maybe for once we get rid of this awful 2020 year, get into 2021. Maybe I can get a man bun going if I don't see my barber until then. Shout out my barber, Robert Perales. I miss you, obviously. So I was trying to get some people to like cut my hair, but not many volunteers. I mean, I had some volunteers, but people that I don't know about all that. All right, so Recon Athlete episode 68, Man Bun or Mullet. That's still going to be out there. We might even put it on Recon Athlete. So let's see which way everybody's going, because I've seen a lot of videos of self haircuts, and they are not looking good out there. All right, we're going to get into Houston Texans. What the heck is going on over there? Bill O'Brien is just making weird trade after weird trade, and the latest one is Brandon Cooks coming in from the Rams. Basically, it's almost like, Paul, Bill O'Brien made this move just because he got so much pushback and so much criticism over the DeAndre Hopkins trade. What do you think about this?
I think the man needs to seriously, and I'm not being facetious here at all. I'm being dead ass serious. The ownership group, after Bob McNair passed away, Bill O'Brien became GM, and their team has literally been on the decline. I mean, it really was the catalyst was when J.J. Watt started getting hurt, and then bad decisions started being made by Bill O'Brien. It's like Bill O'Brien is the head coach, and I bet Jerry Jones is envious as hell because Bill O'Brien gets to be the head coach and the general manager, and he's doing just as bad a job as Jerry does with GM, not all the time, but lately. And so I think the guy should seriously be drug tested. And I mean drug tested for everything. I put that on my personal Instagram, and it boggles your mind on how or why you would give a second round pick for declining Cooks. It doesn't make any sense. You're not getting the Cooks that was dominating with the Saints before he went to LA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you're getting a seriously overhyped product with that receiver, and in no way comparison is close to DeAndre Hopkins, who they just let go for a second round. It makes no sense.
Zach Lucetto.
No, I mean, I just think it's almost like you're trying to make moves that don't make sense so that when they make sense, you look really smart.
Mm.
I think that's what he's doing. I mean, a lot of people are comparing him to like saying he's trying to be like Bill Belichick, and like that's what a lot of Bill Belichick stuff is like passing on someone, and all of a sudden the world finds out that you had a diamond in the rough or something like that. So, and I think that's what Bill O'Brien is doing is he's like, how many bad moves can I make for one of them to be good, and then me all of a sudden be a genius?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, but now he's put the Texans in the position where they don't have a first round pick in 2020. They don't have a first or second round pick in 2021. They don't have a star wide receiver, and it boggles my mind right now. I'm like, okay, so what you're doing here is you're trading away your best player. You're trading away your first round picks, because I mean they gave away 2 of those first round picks back in, what was it, September, when they got Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills from the Dolphins. I mean they gave up first round picks in 2020 and 2021, and a 2021 second round pick for those 2 guys. So he's just trading away basically the future the future drafts this year and next year for Laramie Tunsil, Kenny Stills, Brandon Cooks, and you're giving away DeAndre Hopkins. Oh, and David Johnson. Don't forget about David Johnson. But still, I mean, you get David Johnson, you get Brandon Cooks. Both those guys, you don't even know if you're going to get full seasons out of. I mean, Brandon Cooks has like 5 or 6 concussions. You don't know when the next one's going to happen, and so you're just really trying to, like you said, Zach, find a diamond in the rough. But I mean, it's real rough with these 2, with David Johnson and Brandon Cooks, and you had given away your first round picks in that Kenny Stills job. But now, I mean, you got Brandon Cooks. I mean, you might end up cutting Kenny Stills. I mean, you've got a lot of receivers now in within the Houston Texans. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on. I think personally, I mean, since that debacle in the AFC divisional round and with the Kansas City Chiefs, where they were up 24-0, and Bill O'Brien at some point decided to go for, 4th and 5 at his own 31. At that point, I mean, you already saw the bad decision making from Bill O'Brien, and at halftime, Texans fans from Houston to wherever Texans fans are, were calling for his job at halftime of that game. They ended up losing 51-31, getting routed, and he's continuing to show his questionable decision making. Maybe if the Texans come out, if we have a NFL season next, this coming up 2020, the Texans come out and all of a sudden they're great with these moves that they made. Sure, yeah, he's going to look like a genius, but right now he looks like a fool. Paul Rodriguez. Paul, you there?
I am here. I just don't know. I don't know why.
Oh, we're on the phone. You can't just be quiet.
I was trying to hit my unmute button. That's what it really was.
Oh, okay.
But getting back to Zach calling in on time. It's just really hard for, I think, people, the fans for the Texans, to see a bad product on the field, and then also seeing poor decision making at the general manager level, which is basically you garnering talent. And so if the product is declining on the field and the talent is declining in the front office, those ticket sales, I'm sure, are going to start to dwindle down. And I don't blame them. I don't think that the Houston Texans fans are as rabid as the Dallas Cowboys fans, just to make a quick comparison in state. Mm-hmm. But it's a tremendous disservice to not only the fans, but the veterans on the team who were there before O'Brien got there. And the Clowney move was the right move. The D-Hop move was a bad move. And so it's like, you get credit for the Clowney, shipping Clowney off. But at the same time, like when you move D-Hop out, like Zach was trying to say, making a move like similar to the Patriots, you're not the Patriots of the South. That's Tennessee. They're the ones who are winning in the postseason. And Bill O'Brien is just really making a fool of himself by these decisions that he's making.
Zach, if you're a Houston Texans fan, I mean, obviously, a lot of fans are going to be weary of going to football games anyways because of what's going on with coronavirus. But if you're a Houston Texans fan, I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be hard to go to these games. Obviously, winning cures all, but is there anything that Bill O'Brien can do for a Houston Texans fan to, maybe just get them on board with what he's doing at all at this point, Zach?
Well, Chris, that was a poorly timed press of that button.
Yeah, it was.
But also,
it was.
I think you said it.
You like that timing?
That was a little better, but
okay.
I think you just got to win. Like if they win, and if they for some reason win a lot, and then all these moves the tide will turn on them, and the public opinion will say maybe he was on to something. And he just has to win. Obviously, like I said, winning cures all. Like you said that too. But I just don't see them winning with this roster. They weren't hurting on the offensive side of the ball, in my opinion. Okay, they weren't. That's not where they were hurting. They haven't really done anything defensively. Obviously, sure. You give up 50 points to Kansas City Chiefs. Who didn't? But defensively, they haven't really done anything. And so to me, they haven't really done anything to make their team better. It's actually been a little bit worse. Paul, what do you think about that? Have they done anything defensively?
No, not at all. But I think another effect we need to take into consideration is Deshaun Watson. Could these moves be made because they're trying to structure their cap to where they can pay him a record-setting deal? Because Mahomes is going to get his deal next year, and Deshaun could get it next year as well, but either before or after. They're going to need cap space, and I was kind of thinking about that while Zach was talking. Is like maybe that's why they're having to make these really hard decisions. I'm trying to reach here for this, but to maybe have cap space available. But there's already rumblings with D-Hop leaving. If there's leaks of information getting out about a quarterback feeling like he doesn't want to be there anymore, and Deshaun Watson and going somewhere else, and leaks by maybe saying he may go to the Patriots if he requests a trade. I'm not saying that's going to happen or a reach. I'm just saying that's just rumblings and rumors coming out. If information's coming out, something's being said in the locker room or in the front office that people are not happy. But at the same time, if you're going to make moves for a guy like Cooks, I mean, why not and try to go get, a guy that you're going to get better value out of, or not give up a high round draft pick for like a guy who's like Brandon Cooks. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But rounding out the idea, Houston Texans fans, they need to start doing what I told the Cowboys fans to do: is don't go to the games, don't buy the merch. I mean, that's the only way these guys at the top levels, that's what they understand as a pocketbook, basically.
Yeah, so even after the meltdown that the Texans had against the Kansas City Chiefs in the divisional round, where they're blowing that 24-0 lead, the Texans ownership decided to go ahead and make Bill O'Brien officially the GM for 2020. So it's something that they've made their own bed, and now they're going to have to lay in it for the next couple years at least. So we'll see what happens, but I don't expect a whole lot. I feel sorry for Deshaun Watson. All right, Recon Athlete, episode number 68. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto on the line. Shout out to Snoop Daniel. I think he got a phone call. I think he's getting some more constructive criticism on FLXATX, Flex Friday nights. Check out our homie Snoop Daniel on the horn Friday nights, 7 to 9. FLXATX. Zach, did you check out the show last night?
Yeah, I listened.
What'd you think?
It was good. I think the format is really cool. I think there's not really anyone better to host a show like that.
True.
So I think it's going to build up a lot of excitement leading into the fall season.
Was there anything? Did you listen to the interviews? Was there anything that you learned last night that you didn't know before listening to these interviews with the kids?
Not
really.
One of the guys said he was working out with gloves on, which I thought was kind of funny.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I get it's good, but
was he a receiver?
I don't remember. No, I don't think so. I think he was like a basketball player.
Oh, that'd be interesting. So I wonder. Okay, so I wonder, is basketball? Are we going to go to playing with like those little gloves on? Would that hinder your jump shot, Zach? If you were, I know you're a volleyball guy, but if you had to play volleyball,
it would hinder my jump shot. I'm a shooter.
Oh, you're a shooter?
I can shoot in any condition.
Oh, okay. So if you had to wear like nylon gloves or like little nitrile gloves, do you think you could still hit threes?
I'll probably hit even more.
Really?
In the name of Medicare.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we'll see. I wonder if that's what's going to happen. Paul, what do you think about wearing nitrile gloves playing basketball?
Man, I'm the wrong person to ask that question. But if I'm just going to look at it, I mean, you see, my big boys, we don't really get down on the court like that. I don't really get out on anything much to begin with. But to answer the question, I really think that it would. If you're a big name guy, I don't think it's going to really affect you if you got great decent sized hands. But I think for just a normal varsity basketball player, I think it's going to have some kind of impact. But that doesn't mean if you don't practice with those, you can't become better at it. So the more practice and more reps you get in, if you're a shooter like Zach, and if you're just putting up 1,000 shots a day, RIP Kobe. Mm-hmm. Then maybe you get better with them on. Maybe, I mean, but if you can just go to the hoop like the big name guy in Vandergrift, I don't really think it's gonna bother you at all.
Oh, that's what's up. Get back to the FLXATX. Paul Rodriguez, you did a little segment with Snoop Daniel last night on FLXATX, the debut show. Y'all talked a little bit of recruiting. Give us a little bit of highlights. We posted it on our socials, but give us a little bit of highlights of those that recruiting news that you shared with Mr. Snoop Daniel last night.
Well, the biggest thing that stuck out to me was if y'all don't really know the student athletes that were on that show, a lot of them were guys who don't have offers yet, minus Caleb Burton, who was, I think, pretty much ended the show on a big note. But I think Snoop brought on those guys to give them some more shine, some more exposure. Seth Ford, Jai Lambert out of Hutto. Seth plays at Round Rock High School. But a lot of those guys who are big time players that we know locally, I think they need more shine. And I was a big name in our area at your alumni or your alum school, Chris, Westwood High School. Last night, late, RJ Martinez received a D1 offer from Abilene Christian, and I have been waiting for months for this young man to get an offer like this. And that's something that we were talking about last night with Snoop and I. Is like these guys in Austin, they're really above average athletes, and I mean above average D1 athletes that don't get enough shine because there's so many high high school football players in this area that they just don't get the looks because so much attention's being thrown at Andrew Makuba. And Kuba, if you're listening, bro, I'm sorry I butchered your name last night, and I felt really horrible after the interview. But Andrew Makuba, DB, paired up with Latrell McCutcheon at LBJ High School. Another guy that I really wanted to give a big shout out to was Devin Lemire, DB at Manor High School, Lamb Nation. I mean, those guys like Del Valley, Manor, LBJ, those dudes got a run and a lot on the D1 offers in the Austin area. And I contributed to their training that they do outside of school. And I got to shout out Chook Speed and Juice, Sean Rutherford, that Sean trains RJ Martinez. And, Chook Speed trains a lot of those guys at Manor and LBJ and Del Valley. And those guys are a reflection of their training. And you see it here too. Another big school that has big time offers is Hutto with Landon Watson. I mean, that's a guy that a lot of people know. And, you can follow them on Twitter. You can follow Recon Athlete on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And you can see these guys out there doing and performing outside of just, schoolwork or school training. But these guys are getting offers from Ivy League schools. They're getting offers from Virginia Tech. And if y'all don't know this or not, Virginia Tech is it's not a university. Virginia Tech is an institution. What that means is it's hard as hell to get into. That's what that means in the short term. But these are high-level schools, high-level athletes, and high-level student athletes to boot with it. And these guys got the grades. And I just want to give one more shout-out to Andrew Makuba. That dude, for the young kids listening out there, when that dude released his ACT score, I think his ACT score was like a 40. And when he released that, the offers started pouring in. So it's real when those recruiters out there are saying, look, it's not only your talent, it's also your academics. And so if you have those two in line, you can go to any school you want in the nation.
Yeah, and I want to get back to RJ Martinez. I've been a big fan of his, not only because he's a Westwood quarterback, but he's just a great kid. And Zach, you've seen RJ play. Do you think this is his first D1 offer, this Abilene Christian? Do you expect bigger schools to be going after RJ? I mean, your talent evaluation of RJ Martinez, Zach.
I mean, I think talent-wise, you could definitely see it, but once you get into the FBS level, it becomes a lot about frame.
Yeah,
and that's just something that's going to hold him back. And I think it's something that even he's gonna see a lot more of opportunities getting passed over for these opportunities because of his frame. But I think it would make a lot of sense for him to go to a school like Abilene Christian, where he can really kind of shine with that aside. And then I think he'll be able to do that at like an FCS level school.
Yeah. And, just sticking with the high school football stuff, I do want to shout out Weiss High School, getting their new head coach, Steve Van Meter, was retired for a little bit, about 3 years, former Hutto High School coach. And now he's taking over Weiss. And, Weiss we saw them, come up last year, and now they've got a really good coach, a proven coach, somebody that's, got a lot of experience, has experience taking teams to the playoffs with, winning ways. And I think Weiss High School all of a sudden has put themselves on the map with this hire, not only with the talent that they have, but now they've got a big name coach in the Austin area leading the program. Paul, what do you think about that hire for Weiss?
I mean, I think that's an excellent hire, especially for the geographical area that it's in Pflugerville, which is right there in the middle, right next to Hutto, where he came from, and already having a D1 athlete in Edric Whitley, who signed with Arizona this past spring, just shows you that D1 talent is there, and just couple it with that whole region, that whole I-30 or 130 toll road from Hutto all the way down to Maynard and to LBJ area. There's definitely a plethora of talent. The biggest thing is, can he get them to play collectively, which I think he has an excellent skill set in doing. And so, I mean, you're just going to see more D1 offers coming out of Pflugerville Weiss, and for them to produce a D1 athlete as a specialist with their first senior class, I think was just tremendous, and it's going to be a huge positive outlook. But man, we know, guys, we cover high school football in the Austin area. It is a dog-eat-dog district, no matter where you play, especially when you're vying for one of those 4 playoff spots in your district.
Zach, you're from the Pflugerville area. I mean, we've discussed before the rivalries. Do you think? I mean, where do you see Weiss High School now? I mean, we've kind of talked about this before, but just kind of for some of our listeners now, where do you see Weiss High School in that? I guess in that rivalry of all the Pflugerville area schools. I mean, who do you think is going to be there? Is it going to be Hendrickson?
I think it had kind of settled to Henderson being like the top by a big distance.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with Weiss starting to take some of those athletes that would be going to Henderson and just kind of some of that like North Pflugerville, like Hutto area, and I think it's going to be Henderson and Weiss. And I think it's going to be Henderson and then Weiss for a while. I say a while, but maybe a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years. And then I think we start to see those lines blur a little bit, and that thing kind of flip-flop back and forth.
Yeah. And what do you expect from Coach Van Meter? I don't know how much you knew about Hutto before, but you think this is going to be, I guess, a game changer for Weiss with this talented coach coming in?
Well, so when was he at Hutto? Was he like at Hutto when I was in high school?
It was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, he was at Hutto. Yep. I think he might have been there. Yeah, he was at Hutto for a while.
So I graduated in 2013, so he was there like 2010.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's prime Hutto v. Henderson rivalry. Like, so maybe they hired a guy that used to beat Henderson, and then he was that guy. So maybe you kind of are turning this. You're going from Hutto v. Henderson to Henderson v. Weiss, and what better than the guy that knew that rivalry so well to kind of be there to start this new one.
Yeah, absolutely. And so shout out to Coach Van Meter and shout out to Weiss High School. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 68, Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, and Zach Lucetto safely at home on the line in their quarantined areas. And Paul, you said that Lockhart America isn't on a stay-at-home order anymore, right?
No, man, that ended on the 8th, which was Wednesday. So, I mean, there's a lot of traffic. I mean, where my house is situated, it's on one of the main roads coming east or west to east into the city. And so, and not the city, the town is really more of an accurate definition. But yeah, I mean, people are out and about. I mean, I heard there was, a couple of more cases confirmed that have already been isolated in Caldwell County. But Caldwell County is pretty large. It's almost as large as Travis County, except the populations are a little bit more densely located within Lockhart and Luling, respectively. But, I would probably venture to say there's probably 50,000 people in the county, and we have a limited number of cases. And so, everybody's doing their best to still social distance, but at the same time, there's no shelter in place order by Judge Hayden at this time.
And Zach, how are things out in Pflugerville? I mean, are people staying at home, or what are you seeing out there when you go out to the volleyball courts?
The ones that I've been going to are in Round Rock, and I saw on the news, and I've been getting like texts and calls from the city of Austin, like urging people to stay home this weekend. I know, like I think they're really worried about a lot of people going out and going to parks and stuff for the holiday weekend. So, city of Austin, I think Travis County, and then I know Williamson County closed all their parks for this weekend. So yesterday until Monday.
So were you able to go out there?
I think we're gonna have to try to find a different day to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, like, you don't have any really. I mean, all those volleyball courts are at city parks, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I don't know is if they're only closing like county parks and not city parks, and like what's the difference? But I don't know. But I mean, I think it's a good thing for them to do, and so you're not like having people flock to these parks for their Easter egg hunts and people like grilling out at the parks and stuff like that. Like you don't really want that. Like, because like when I go, it's like me and like one or two other people, and we're working out like strictly just doing that, and then going home. So we're not really trying to be there and hanging out, and I think that's what you would get a lot of this weekend.
All right, Recon Athlete, episode 68. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto on the line, talking a little bit of quarantine. Quarantine. And Zach is going to stay home because his parks are closed. Paul, you're just, are you working today again still? I mean, you're still doing overtime, right?
Yeah, man, I'm still on there. I'm still, trying to help the people in need.
Health and Human Services Division. Paul Rodriguez is helping everybody out. Thank you, Paul, for your service to the community, because you are, vital in getting those services. Zach, what are you doing to help out the people out there?
I'm making sure. So a lot of like the funds that I'm moving, like the wires and stuff that I'm completing, are like for HHSC to like buy the things that they're needing to buy, or we've had some like expedited stuff come through for like some of that PPE or whatever. So yeah, I'm doing my part too.
Heck yeah, I think we all are. I mean, we ran payroll for Manor ISD, so we get all the Manor ISD employees paid on April 15th. They did that yesterday. Shout out to Sylvia and Diana, my two people, and just all three of us are doing our thing, trying to take care of the community. Shout out to Snoop Daniel, he was on the phone. Who are you talking to, man? Quarantine. Oh, okay. Oh man, there's no. Yeah, you never come on. Here, why don't you grab a mic over there? Yeah, Snoop's gonna get we're gonna get Snoop a mic. Hold on.
Hey, Chris. Real quick. While Snoop's getting put together, I just want to let everybody know. I want to wish a very happy birthday to Recon Athlete. Today is our 1 year anniversary. We are officially 1 year old.
Zach, did you know that?
1 year. 1 year.
1 year.
Zach, did you know that?
Yeah.
You did? I'm setting up a mic. Hold on. So how did you know this? How did you figure that out, Paul?
How did I figure it out?
Yeah.
I went to the first time I set up the Instagram account, and the first time that I ever put a profile, and it gave me the date. And so I looked at that and I'm like, oh snap, because the first post we made was on August 11th.
Okay. What was that post?
It was Latrell McCutcheon's offer, I think. Yeah, I think it was one of Latrell McCutcheon's offers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I'm wrong. It's how ironic. It was a picture of what's the head football coach for Oklahoma State in his mullet? I'm a man. I forgot his name.
Gundy.
Yeah, Vic Gundy. There you go. So yeah, that's the very first post on Instagram. Is Recon Athlete's Instagram post is I think Mike Gundy.
Yeah, can you hear? Did you know that, Snoop? Today's Recon Athlete's first birthday.
A word?
Yeah.
Oh, birthday number 1?
Yeah.
Birthday shout out Recon Athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Athlete.
Athlete.
Athlete, AFELETE, Recon Athlete. Yeah, word up. Hey,
Snoop, congratulations on your show last night, bro. It was dope. It was really awesome for you to put up those young men who haven't really had a lot of exposure or offers yet. And then it was so ironic for RJ to get that big offer after the show had went off the air later that evening. But big props, and I like the way that show was formatted last night too, bro.
hey, man, thank you. You know, like I probably overbooked. I mean, I had enough content for like 6 hours, and I was hell bent on fitting in everything that I had planned. So, but yeah, it was a learning experience. But I'm excited. Yeah, just if that is like a scratching the surface, and like if you say like you get better by your second or third time, I think it's going to be a fun show. And it's crazy doing it solo though. But then again, I do have a lot of callers, so I appreciate you calling in last night.
Word, I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, thanks for getting Recon Athlete out there, man. We appreciate it.
Quarantine. Yeah, thank you for saying quarantine when you came on, because that gave me. Well, that's it.
Go ahead.
Here we go. This happens all the time. Whenever I hear this happen, when two people talk at the same time, like 3 times back to back to back, I'm like, oh, how painful. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Now I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, thanks.
I wanted to give Chris credit for that because it wasn't my idea; it was his.
Yeah, he told me. That's good though. See, Chris is. Yeah, see, everybody can contribute in a different way.
Yeah, Zach.
Is Zach on here?
Zach's there.
Oh, what up, Zach?
Yeah, I'm here.
Got to spray a little bit.
Yeah.
How you, Zach? Thanks for the post game programming director tips. That was a good session.
Yeah, well, we'll get together and watch the film. We'll break it down.
Yeah,
we'll get you right.
I know. It sucks. Yeah. I feel like a rookie a rookie player, like in the big leagues, because
You're still learning the playbook.
Yeah, I'm still learning the playbook. Yeah, that's right. I'm still learning the playbook. It was my first time with live action.
Yeah.
Players running at me and like so. I learned a lot last night. You learn more from struggle than you do from succeeding. I think if I had smashed 100, and maybe I'd just be like, get too cocky. But not being perfect helps.
Yeah. But I tell you what, man. I mean, we play radio here on Recon Athlete in our podcast here. But Snoop's obviously the professional. But I just have to give you props, man, for making this change, bro. Like, I mean, we built, or you built, I was part of it. We're all 3 of us were part of it. Me, Zach, and Paul were part of FanStand, and making this change over to the Horn with FLXATX. I mean, that's got to be, big time. I mean, you're already starting to get a bunch of followers. You're getting a lot of crossover, from the old format. Are you excited about this?
Yeah. Twitter's going a little slower, and I still think that the kids are like in disbelief. I mean, this is sad for them. And I mean, it's sad for me in a way, 10 years of FanStand, but for the kids, I mean, it's like growing up with Mickey Mouse and then saying, oh, Mickey Mouse is dead.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Yeah. So here's, Duty Mouse.
Yeah.
But you were a little cooler than Duty Mouse, but, here's Dead Mouse. I don't know. But yeah, so, but Instagram is definitely, and I saw, it was one day, I think it's when Kay Klubnik kind of like said, hey, like FanStand is done. This is the new wave. And then I think then it started changing over because now I think it's over. For a long time, we had more followed than following or however, but now it's starting to get normal.
It's coming up on double.
We finally had our first post with over 100 likes yesterday. It was RJ Martinez with his first offer. So that's significant. Yeah. Like it really is like starting over again. It's strange, and it makes me appreciate everything that I've done before because now I see struggle.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not automatically the top dog. I have to earn this again.
Yeah. And it's almost like it's 2010 again.
Yeah.
And, Snoop and I are back in our old office, just trying to figure out what we need to do, how to get through.
And
I remember working on iMovie.
Yeah.
Remember that? I was in the corner of the office working putting together out the tunnel videos.
Yep.
On iMovie.
Just people running out the tunnel, and that was what we were doing.
Yeah, and covering 7-on-7, but 7-on-7. Yeah. But Zach, what were some of your notes for Snoop? I want to put them on air here.
Oh God, I'm embarrassed. These are private conversations.
I like the rookie quarterback thing. You know, he's still learning the playbook, still learning to command the huddle. You know, got a bunch of people around him that he's got to try to like wrangle up and stuff. But no, I think it was good. I think having a show like that after what do they call it, like the triple option or whatever, which is like another high energy show. So I think to be able to have a guy like Snoop maintain that energy after that show, I think is placed really well. I think there's nothing on the air like that right now for high school athletes or high school students in general. So to get high school kids to listen to the radio, like most of them listening on the app instead of tuning in on the actual radio, like we used to do. I think it's cool, and I think it's bringing the audience to the horn that they would have not had before. And I think as far as following, like whenever y'all started FanStan, like Twitter was like the most popping thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, like a lot of people will say that Twitter is dying and it's Instagram.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense for Instagram to be the first platform to really be taken off or Flex, and Twitter kind of lagging behind, because I think a lot of these high school kids don't use Twitter or don't use Twitter as seriously as I used to, or I do.
Right. And Paul, you know, you mentioned last night, you know, when I was texting you, you were a little bit nervous. I mean, you were like, you kind of compared it to, you know, our first show being on FanStan when I was hosting, you were co-host, and you were, you know, a little nervous, and you said you kind of felt the same way being on FLXATX with Snoop last night, man. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, when you got Snoop Daniels, you know, moving forward, and you know, being the new QB1 with a new team, it's like Tom Brady being the new QB1 with a new team. It's nerve wracking when he's talking to the GOAT, man. And so I really was trying to compartmentalize, like, okay, you've done this before,
right?
You know, I even remember going back to the very first year covering sevens, and I remember, I'll tell a little story real quick. This was the first year we were at Lake Travis SQT, and Snoop was like, "Hey, go ask Austin High for a roster," and I'm like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, go ask for a roster." I'm like, "Why?" And he was like, "Well, Caleb. This is when Caleb Jones was like the big hot receiver in the Austin area, and his dad was Robert Jones, who was a former Super Bowl winning middle linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys." And I was like, "Dude, why do you want me to go?" And I don't know why Snoop wanted me, but I go and I try to get the roster, and Robert Jones is this big human being. And he's like, "Who are you, an official?" And I go, "No, sir." I go, "We're just with FanStan. We're trying to get a roster for the sevens." He was like, "Oh, we'll get one for you. And I was like, man, maybe that's why Snoop sent me, because he didn't want to deal with this big man. But I just thought about that, and then I thought about, you know, the first time you and I were cruising to the studio to do the first FanStan ATX show in 2018. And bro, I had bubble guts, man. I was nervous, and then I was just really nervous. And then last night I had the same feeling, and I talked to Snoop earlier. We had a little private conversation, and I just said, "Hey man, like, you know, nerves are good. Nerves keep us focused," and they sure enough did. And it's an honor, guys, for all four of us to kind of continue to do what we've been doing that started in 2010, and, you know, graduating to where we are now, I think is a tremendous accomplishment, and the future is bright, fellas. It's real bright.
Yeah, we're not done yet, man. Recon Athlete still rolling forward. You know, we got a partnership, you know, obviously with, you know, FLXATX and Mr. Snoop Daniel, which is, you know, we're going to take advantage of as much as we can. And, you know, shout out to Snoop for letting us do that, and, you know, giving us some shine time on 104.9 The Horn. And shout out to everybody over at The Horn for letting us do that as well. Recon Athlete episode 68. Got a shout out to Kreitz Market, our sponsor. Also, Focus Fit San Marcos and The Social. If you're still looking, you know, I wonder if is it too late to get some barbecue for tomorrow, Paul? For Easter, if you're going to do something at home?
You can definitely go pick up barbecue today for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if, like, I put in an order I got the college football dinner, which is a brisket, 2 racks of pork ribs, and 10 rings of sausage, and I threw in a ham in addition to that. I'm picking it up today at 5 o'clock cold. I'm picking up cold because we're going to reheat it tomorrow, but you can definitely go get you some barbecue this evening or today or right now. They're open, waiting to do business, and get you some barbecue for tomorrow, but you can definitely pick up hot barbecue today for tomorrow.
All right. Shout out to Christ Market and King Kalunga. All right. Before we wrap this thing up, real quick, Drew Brees. I know, Paul, you mentioned this before we came on air here. He used to join NBC after football. He's going to be lined up as the next Sunday Night Football analyst. And he kind of, I think he said no to ESPN and went with NBC. Is that what happened here, Paul?
WNBC.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that to me is tremendous because not only has ESPN missed with Jason Witten, who they thought was going to be their big time guy, and he left, and then they tried to rope in Romo, and that failed, and then Peyton for like the 3rd time, and that failed, and they put all their chips in with Drew Brees, and they said no. So these are questions I'm starting to think, well, what is ESPN not doing that these other networks are willing to do? So it's really interesting to see that, and it's probably a control thing or a scheduling conflict that the former players don't like. Because I mean, I've got a feeling these guys are probably in the area for 3 or 4 days, and they're away from their family, and technically they're retired. They don't need the money.
Yeah.
And maybe NBCs and CBS are saying, "Oh, just show up that day. Do your homework at home and fly in, fly out, instead of being there 4 days."
I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, I think maybe they're being a little bit more flexible with these guys, maybe NBC and others, or maybe it's just offering more money, or maybe ESPN's losing a little bit of swag. I mean, that's an old term, but some people are told to bring the swag still these days.
Oh yeah, I was told to bring the swag.
How late?
I know. As much as I
Can
said.
Go ahead.
Can you tell us who told you that?
Zach, what did you say? Is that you, Zach, or Paul?
It was me. I said, "Who told you to say that?"
We don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about that.
Aaron.
Yeah.
That's okay. I don't mind. It's weird. Like I said, this is probably like way inside, but I'm telling you, the people that I'm coolest with are Nasur, Aaron, and Lise. And Lise is probably easy to get along with, but I think like Aaron and Jason kind of have like a reputation as a little bit less work friendly. But anyway,
yeah. But anyways, back to Drew Brees and ESPN.
I bought the swag. Drew Brees.
He's decided to go to NBC. I mean, I don't know, man. Whatever. I mean, it's more about it's more about what the players want. What the individual wants. So, I mean, maybe ESPN's losing it a little bit. Zach, you're a little bit.
I love Drew Brees.
Yeah, Zach, you're a little bit younger than us. Is ESPN losing that swag per se?
I feel like Paul was kind of, y'all are both on to the right kind of track where it comes to scheduling. Because I feel like these dudes that do like Sunday Night Football or whatever, like that's all they do. And then you get like these ESPN guys, and they're like, okay, we want you to call Monday Night Football, and then we want you to call the Pro Bowl dodgeball game too, and then you have to do the high school obstacle course. We need you to be an announcer for that. And like, I don't want to do all that stuff. Like, I want you to say you're going to Disney after you announce the Super Bowl. Like, it's ESPN like has too many hats that they try to get all these people to wear.
Yeah.
Whereas like these other networks, but they only have one football broadcast a week, so that's really all that they're trying to sell to these people to do. But I think Drew Brees is a great hire. I think I love listening to him talk. He's very cool.
Snoop,
he has a lot of swag.
Snoop, what's your Drew Brees opinion going to NBC?
I like Drew Brees.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be great, man. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good. But it says after football. It's like, well, when is that going to be? I mean, all these quarterbacks are trying to play till they're 50 now. So
who is Drew Brees a backup now?
Taysom Hill, isn't it?
Taysom Hill, yeah.
Yeah, Taysom Hill.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, it could be.
It sounds cool, but I'd be terrified if I had to run him out there every down.
I mean, I don't know. Zach, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think you have to be confident with Taysom Hill because Taysom Hill has so much swag that he just it exudes swag. And
yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater might have had the drip, but like Taysom Hill has the swag, and I mean that's what you're going for, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Paul, what do you think? Drew Brees goes down, Taysom Hill comes in, or New Orleans Saints done for?
Yeah, I would say no, not done for, just because of what they did with Bridgewater. Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of talent on that offensive side of the ball. So even if you had to turn around and give it to Kamara and do play action, I think Taysom Hill can get that done. But listen, man, nobody has more swagger than Drew Brees.
Yes, with the hard R. All right, Recon Athlete, episode number 68. Chris Sanchez, Snoop Daniel joining us, Zach Lucetto, and Paul Rodriguez on the line here. And before we wrap this thing up, one more thing, other topics as assigned. I put something out there on Facebook earlier this week. Got a lot of traction. I was looking for some enchiladas to go, picking up Pflugerville area. Zach, Pflugerville, Round Rock, Hutto. You looking for enchiladas to pick up? Where are you going?
I'm just going to y'all's apartment and telling you to take me somewhere.
But you don't have a favorite enchilada place over there?
No, my mom.
Your mom? Oh, okay.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I mean, me too, but I'm trying to stay away from the parents right now, and I'm trying to get them. Shout out mom and dad, happy Easter. I'm trying to keep them safe. Maybe I can pick some up from the porch. I don't know. Paul, I know there's some good enchiladas in Lockhart, America. What's your number one spot? Or you can give us a couple. I know you like them enchiladas down there. Besides,
man, I don't know who lied to you about the enchiladas, but not in Lockhart, America.
Damn, bro.
Listen, man, this is barbecue capital of Texas, baby. They ain't worried about no enchiladas here in Lockhart, America.
But if you got a craving.
I have an answer for you, and it's not even in Caldwell County. It's in San Marcos, Texas, and there's a little honey hole for all of you Texas State alums, or even for your generation, Chris, you Southwest Texas alums.
Yep.
So Herbert's off of oh God, what's that road called? I can't think of it, but off the frontage road of 35, just past Hopkins. Herbert's a little mom and pop joint that's been there since my parents were in school in the early 80s. So, yeah, man, Herbert's Taco Hut, enchiladas, best enchiladas, carne asada tacos. Man, you're just going to make me hungry starting talking about this topic. But, yeah, Herbert's, Taco Hut, San Marcos, Texas.
Yeah, I'm about to make me some breakfast. I'm going to make me and Snoop some breakfast this morning. Gotta take care of the roommate. We're going to have a roommate breakfast today. All right, man. Recon Athlete episode 68. Appreciate everybody coming in on the watch party. Shout out everybody on the watch party today. Shout out to Snoop Daniel for hooking us up here. We'll do a FLXATX style. Zach, we're going to let you do some shout outs before we take off here.
Well, I was just like to say, y'all talking about like being nervous on the air and your first time on the air. I just want to say shout out to me because I really don't get nervous and I'm just a natural on any type of microphone or any type of airwaves. So really shout out to me.
Okay.
And that's about it.
All right, man. Appreciate it, Zach. You always bring in the swag, and the drip as well. Paul, who you shouting out?
Man, I'm going to shout out the electrical company in Lockhart, America for keeping the power flowing. I'm shouting out, just everybody who's keeping the world going round, and shout out to Jesus Christ.
That was very specific.
Amen. Snoop Daniel, shout outs.
Zendaya.
Word up.
Word.
Shout out to everybody that was on the watch party here. Let me go down the names. There's a lot of people come on there. Let's see. Shout out to Wes Washington. Shout out to my cousin Edgar. Zach was on there. Shout out to Michelle C. Joel Velasco, Virginia. Barbie Gutierrez Spikes. Shout out to Barbie. Anthony Lopez, Chrissy Ojeda, Marcus Mendoza. I know that. That's a Lockhart guy. King Kalunga, Kelly Cook, Emo, Ron Castillo, Kyle Marshall, Andrew Johnston, Leonard Davila, Eric Partita, Robert Cowles, Roderick Ramos, another cousin. Shout out Natasha Puccio, Ruben Diaz de Leon. What up, Ruben? Rachel Jackson Dyer, Amanda Hart Carsey, and Kayla Benavides. Shout out to everybody that's joining us on the watch party. I'm going to play the Corona Siren again for everybody that missed it because we're all in. But Paul Rodriguez, do your thing, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all enjoyed the podcast, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. For everybody on YouTube, hit the bell. We'll let you know when we upload. We gone.
Court.